Okay, let's go. What's going on? I'm No Nothing Attorney. I know nothing, so you can too. Because it's only in embracing that we know nothing that we can actually learn anything, and that's what we're here to do each and every single day we can. Alright, first thing that I wanted to check out was something that Maddie sent me in the Discord, or sent in the Discord. Oh, nope, didn't mean to close Discord. Whoops. There we go. Is that really where I... Okay, no. Pause the music.
Press Corps. The US has had bases there for 80 years, and they've already said that you could build more. So why do you actually want Greenland? Trump megadonor Peter Thiel wants to build unregulated freedom cities there, just like Prospera in Honduras. Then we can make our own laws and freely run social experiments, trade crypto, and even strip mine Greenland's rare earth minerals.
I'm sorry,
To
what?
build it, billionaires have poured over $500 million into Praxis, a Freedom City startup founded by Dryden Brown. His hobbies include collecting fascist literature and phrenology, which is the racist myth that bumps on your skull predict your intelligence. Bro, what the fuck? Hello, I'm the US ambassador to
Oh my
Denmark,
god.
Ken.
Is that really what that guy looks like? Actual photo, oof. Yeah, yeah. We, man, people get rich enough, they just run wild with the shit that they want to do. They get bored. That's our biggest problem with the wealthy is they get bored.
Howry, President Trump will annex Greenland for national security one way or another and will tariff anyone who gets in our way. Hello, I'm the White House Press Corps. The US has had bases there for 80 years.
Oh.
And
Oh boy. All right. What else do we have going on? How's Minnesota doing? Man, I when work hits hard, it hits hard. It's hard to do this like devote myself to this and have like a normal job during the day. Hey, oh, come on. Oh, that's the bottom of the page. Okay. Also looks like Trump just tacoed Greenland. Yeah? That's good news. What do we got? Okay, Mark Kelly running for president. ICE says its officers can forcibly enter homes during immigration operations without a judicial warrant. Holy shit. Yeah, it's hard to do, like, really try to devote myself to streaming while also being a lawyer during the day. I really want to. I want to. I mean, it's. I really enjoy doing this while I'm doing it. I just like it's like try like wanting to do video content too, and yeah, managing life at the same time. It's a lot. It's a lot. I always appreciate you being here, Maddie. There we go. Make a one-time contribution. Didn't it just say no paywall? Pretty sure it said no paywall. Yeah, holy shit, that's one of like the worst invasions of constitutional rights since the 18th century. That's insane. Oh, my window moved. Let's put the music back on low volume. There we go. Gotta get my mental space right. I'm changing up the wording and the ordering of my stream titles to see what gets more, like what is better bait. There's like a third of Americans who just want to see the entire concept burn. I can't, I want to say I can't understand it, but like it's crazy how far, like, it's just the Carl Schmitt thing. It's the Carl Schmitt thing. Like, I wish we had dealt with it sooner, because it has been a slow, steady, I'll have to think about that. I'll also have to see if doing this Deltarune video generates any traffic, because that's my hope. I imagine it'll get, like, the views these things get, even with new content creators, like thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. So we'll see. We'll see. What the heck? What was I saying? Total. Oh, right. Because it's been an intentional disinformation campaign against the less educated for decades and decades. So it's not surprising. And I want to say I wish we had dealt with it sooner, but like you couldn't. Like Carl Schmitt had it right. You can't push back with like effectively. People just consider it like an infringement of speech rights, of like education rights and parental rights, to be like, no, you do need to learn like what these negative things are that could hurt the structure of our constitution, our republic, and all the negative things that could do to everyone. You have to have the same structure and infrastructure? How do you mean? Oh, you mean like push back against the boundary? They're pushing the boundary in, you just push the boundary back out? Yeah, like, but like just on a, what's the word I'm thinking of? God, like on the level of like values, intrinsic values to the left and to the right, like the left is so squeamish about pushing things too hard on other people. The right doesn't give a shit. So that's why we can't have like a powerful media infrastructure on the left. Like with churches, the right is more than happy to fund right-wing centers of power and cultural importance. For sure. For sure, for sure. I don't give a shit either. We need to stop kneecapping ourselves. We have to force left-wing ideology. Man. I think if we just like set a high floor on education, I think all these problems go away. Right, but you're talking about specifically politically targeted media and education. I think if we set a high educational floor, then we teach the things that are necessary to give people the foundation they need to make better judgments themselves. Like, if you teach them the scientific method, they will have better understandings of science. Teach them media literacy. I don't know. Counter information. Yeah. But you're talking about like a huge chunk of the population that will just see that as like ideological oppression. And I'm not sure that really like gets the next generation on board. Yeah. I mean, I guess at a minimum, the left wing could use like public schools for that purpose. Be like, hey, if you don't want it, like, you can keep sending your kids to private school, you can keep sending your kids to church, but here we're going to teach left-wing ideology. And then it's like, well, the vast number of working class people are just going to get a left-wing education, and that would be enough. I do hate that means like all the like inherently powerful people, the people who don't have to climb the ladder, will have right-wing ideals. But yeah, what a batshit world where like somehow the right was convinced that Antifa's a problem, and not just the right. Like, somehow this idea broadly became an issue. Antifa. What do you mean? Trump says sometimes you need a dictator after alarming Davos speech. Oh my god. Oh my god. Even if sometimes you do, even if that were true, this wouldn't be that time. We were fine. Trump somehow picked up on it in European countries, picked up on what, Antifa? The Antifa idea? Like, he's just been being spoon-fed, like, ideas from people who actually have studied, like, Nazi history. What is this? Why does your title run across the page? Actual Antifa groups? Of course, nobody knew anything about that here because we didn't have anything that was an actual group. President Trump, who has a lengthy resume of authoritarian tendencies, thinks that sometimes you need a dictator. We had a good speech, we got great reviews, I can't believe it, we got good reviews on that speech. Wow. Usually they say he's a horrible dictator type person. I'm a dictator, but sometimes you need a dictator. But they didn't say that in this case. It's all based on common sense. It's not conservative or liberal, anything. Jesus Christ. I'm a dictator. Sometimes you need a dictator.
We had a good speech. We got great reviews. I can't believe it. We got good reviews in that speech. Usually they say he's a horrible dictator type person. I'm a dictator. But sometimes you need a dictator. But they didn't say that in this case. And no, it's common sense. It's all based on common sense, you know. It's not conservative or liberal.
Jesus. My God. You know what's funny is I told my conservative coworker that I wasn't going to talk to her about politics anymore. And she went and talked to another coworker and was like, did he come talk to you about our conversation? And she was like, no. So, like, my conservative coworker's freaking out about me no longer talking to her about politics. Like, maybe... like, maybe that's maybe that'll do something. Maybe that'll make her think about it, I guess. Maybe. Like, if she's panicking about it, that feels to me like she is thinking about it. And it's kind of the same strategy I've had with, like, my debates. It's like, if you just be the reasonable, like, polite person the whole time, and then you freak out at them, then they go, well, what the fuck did I do? I don't know her name, so I'm gonna... Melody's fine. That's what we'll call her. She is Melody.
What the hell? What are you doing?
What the fuck?
What the?
Jesus Christ.
As of today, 4 of our students, our children, have been detained by ICE.
That
God
was a
damn
local
it.
school superintendent today saying agents have detained several students.
5-year-old
Reg
used as
Chapman
bait
was at
to
the
lure
press
people
conference
out?
this afternoon, so Reg, sort of hard to hear that.
Ugh. Oh my god.
You have that? Okay, good. I didn't want to get out and get on there.
They smoked it. They smoked it. I'm a journalist.
What is that?
Holy fuck. Jesus. I'm on it, boys. I think it's just smoke. I don't think it's gas.
I
If
think
it's
it's
gas,
just
they'll be
smoke.
running away. Oh, it is gas.
What the fuck is that?
Ugh.
What the fuck is that?
You have that? Okay, good. I didn't want to get out and get on there.
Remember when we justified invading Iraq because Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons against his own people?
They smoked it. They smoked it. I'm a journalist. Holy fuck. Jesus. I'm on it, boys. I think it's just smoke. I don't think it's gas. If it was gas, they'd all be running
If
away.
we weren't there before, we're there now. What the fuck?
Oh, it is gas.
Holy shit.
Ugh.
They just using, like, Minnesotans as subjects of experimental weaponry? Elaney, you seeing this shit? What username? I didn't. What, eat my ass and balls? That one? At the top? Can't stop popping? Is that a Pringles reference? What is that? Carl, stop popping. Elaney, in case you weren't here, did you see this?
They smoked it. They smoked it. I'm a journalist. Holy fuck. Jesus.
The other one was better? What, the spraying the guy in the face?
I'm on it, boys. I think it's just smoke. I don't think it's gas. If it was gas, they'd all be running away.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
Oh, it is gas.
You prefer ass and balls. I got it. Yes, it's cold in Minnesota, but we embrace it. John and I were in Hastings with Mayor Fassbender for Hockey Day, Minnesota, to watch my alma mater, Wayzata High School, take on Rogers. Photo taken with parents right after their son scored a goal. Miss Klobuchar, with all due respect, posts like this during such a time are tone deaf. 4-year-old child was taken yesterday. 2 teenagers today. Our police are being detained. The slogan everyone is chanting is "Who saves us? We save us." You are watching the people of Minnesota step up and save themselves because our politicians are just doing lip service. Hell yeah. I'm just getting like today's top. Oh boy, we're getting a photo op for Bovino to throw tear gas. I didn't know who this guy was like 3 days ago. Oh, there's the green gas. What was the justification for that? What the fuck? Yeah, it's not legal. They're just doing illegal things. Did he just walk downwind of it? He throws like his dad never played catch with him. You're home? Well, congratulations on being home, Elaney. What's up, fellow lib? No, I didn't see that one. If you want to find a link to it, I'm happy to look at it. Oh, God. Sure you're not, Elaney. Sure you're not. Did you see the green gas, Elaney? All these politicians are just hired servants of capital. Let's not pretend that the illusion of bourgeois democracy will save us. That doesn't mean you're not lefty. Well, I think it's time to change my stream title. Don't imagine it'll make much of a difference, but hey, just in case. There we go. No, I will not hold on. You are a lefty, Elaney. Deal with it. All right, Elaney, I'm screening it. Socialism versus communism versus liberalism versus fascism? A 41-minute video? Oh my god. Wow. That's a lot of doodling. Libertarian. Libertarian has all sorts of meanings. I don't know if it's even a useful word. Well, libertarian, okay, this person's using the lefty version of libertarian, I guess. gosh, that's wow.
Slave catchers, literally. They move around in roving bands and decide who belongs and who doesn't, at will, with no oversight. What the fuck is that?
And somebody asked me to compare ICE today to Hitler's troops and to the slave patrols, and I can't do much with Hitler's troops. Like I say, I'm an Americanist. But I will say about the slave patrols in the American South before the Civil War, they were they were very much, obviously, about controlling the slave
Communism,
population.
Socialism, democratic socialist, social
But they were
democrat,
also about controlling the white population.
Republican, fascist,
And that's
monarchy.
important to remember in this moment, that, and the same was true after the Civil War, especially in the moments immediately after the Civil War.
Sure.
A huge
I
number
think
of Black
democratic
Americans
socialism is a
were
version of
lynched
socialism.
by their white supremacist neighbors. But so were a lot of white Americans in the early years. The idea being to create terror against anybody who would stand against the regime. And you're seeing the same thing.
Let's not get our knickers in a twist here. There's
Yeah,
no
let's not
punishment
get our
for this.
knickers in a twist over child. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. Like, it's insane. The Epstein Files
What's
is
insane?
a multinational, multi-generational child and woman trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil begun, is just horrifying to me. Every woman in the world that is watching this,
We have
why
normalized
are you
being
acting like you
batshit
have no
insane
idea
and
what's
evil.
happening here? Scott, this is...
He asked
this
me a
is
question about following
yes,
the law.
and what
I
I'm
said they
saying
should
to you
follow
is
the
your
law.
attitude. Yes, and they're not following the law. They're 30 days late on following law, and they didn't explain why they redacted the first things in the first place, which they were also supposed to do.
I know.
Listen,
you
at
have a
this
strong
point, this is
opinion
not...
about it, and
I have a strong
respect that.
opinion about it because
shut
it is
your
a
fucking
disgusting
mouth,
I
dude.
think they should do it
that
as
they are
fast as
doing
they
this.
can.
They are hiding it. It is not the behavior of innocent people, and
You
everything
need to
that is
stop
in these
talking.
files it could bring an entire house down. And if it has to, it has to. If it brings down Democrats, bring them down. If it brings down Republicans, bring them down. If it brings down princes, world leaders, Hollywood people, bring them down. But what it feels like right now is that there's a giant cabal of people that do not have to listen to the law, do not have to oppose the law, and they were supposed to do something, then they didn't
everybody
do
on the
something,
news
and now
is
they're
acting
trying to
like
have a
it's
new law
fucking normal.
that says we don't even have to do it.
They should follow the law.
Well, they should follow the law. Gonna do my white person voice.
Thing in Minnesota. And that's important to remember because as they are trying to cow Americans, white American citizens,
They're trans.
it's not working. And this is one of the things I think that terrifies Trump is that it's just astonishing to me he started this in Minnesota. So I don't know if many of you have traveled much in Minnesota.
Hey,
I won't say I've
2012
traveled
Slimeball
a
on
ton in
YouTube chat.
Minnesota,
What's
but I'm
going
there
on?
not infrequently. There's a reason it's called
How's your evening
Minnesota
going?
Nice. And they have a sense of community, a really deep sense of community because it has a large...
Okay, this is avoiding the point. Boy,
Hey everyone, Drew from Minnesota 5051.
I want to move on
out on this
from
beautiful
Minnesota
winter
news,
day
but I didn't
in our occupied
expect
city.
it to be
So I got an announcement
this
for you
much
all.
worse.
We all know that right now Trump and ICE want this to go one of two ways. They either want to scare us into doing nothing,
kind of watching the
or
train come at
they
me.
want to provoke us so hard that they get a pretext to invoke the Insurrection Act. Well, we have a third option. Everything in this country, everything in this world is created by labor. The labor of the working class. And now if you cannot quit your job right now and live off your savings, you are a part of the working class. That is who we are. What's happening this Friday is that we're committing to not working. We're going to shut the shit down. We're going to start with just the one day, and hopefully this can lead to something even bigger. So on this Friday, there's going to be a lot of events going on. 10 a.m.
We are best
you'll be at
friends.
MSP Airport to demand an end
But
to
why are you glad
deportation
about
flights
that?
out of Minnesota. That's going to be Terminal 1 departures. At 9 a.m.
I am
people
a
will be going to the
good
Whipple
friend to
building,
have. I will
because
go
that's
out of
where
my
ICE
way to
HQ
do
is
things
in
for people.
Minnesota.
And when I tell somebody
And
that I
at 2
promise
p.m. we're
something,
going to be marching from downtown Minnesota.
absolutely will
right now, the
not.
starting location is the Commons, but
I
check
will
our social media in
refuse
case
to
those
not do
plans
the thing,
change.
even if they're like,
So
no,
we
that
hope
would
to see you all on the
inconvenience
streets
you.
with
Like,
us on
fuck
Friday,
no.
But most importantly,
If nobody
withhold
else
your
is going to
labor.
show up at your
They
thing
cannot
today, I
exist without
fucking
our
will.
labor. The 1% leeches off our labor. That's how they gain their wealth. That's how they gained their power that they're now using to oppress us.
Yep.
So
yep.
this Friday, withhold that labor and see you in the streets. We'll be right there with you.
2012 slime ball, you gone?
I want you to know that.
This morning I learned for the first time
I'm not a communist.
through an NPR story that Renee Good still had a pulse 8 minutes after she was shot by an ICE agent. And yet...
yeah, I saw that. So you're a lefty? Do we get to see what started this?
You can't do it! Your mom should have aborted you!
I can't believe Klobuchar was doing that, like, when police officers are being detained by ICE. What started the, like, the green gas attack in Minneapolis?
Fuck you! Take your gun out! Take your gun out!
I mean, sure, but like the impulse to act as a civil servant never starts. Like it is not activated by anything.
Drive away, bro. Why not? Why are you a fucking Nazi, you scum? Fuck you! Fuck you! You worthless scum! Get out! You guys are just taunting us right now. Get the fuck out. Go back to leave. We're trying to leave. I know you're trying to.
So they started tear gassing protesters because they couldn't drive out fast enough. Kristi Noem said they were not using chemical weapons. They were only using chemical weapons when. Oh right. Yeah, I did see that. We're not using chemical weapons. We're only using chemical weapons when. Fast enough with 4 inches of remelted, resolidified ice.
What's your name? Grow the fuck up! What's your name? Fucking life! Get a fucking life! What's your name? What's your name? Ezekiel. Ezekiel what? Where are you from? What's your name? Steve.
Yeah, not police. They do not have general jurisdiction. Hi, Dark Sage. Greetings from the darker side of the world. At least for the time being. On timeout, Delaney. So wait, where did it start? What? Wait, what? Where did that start? It started like where this woman is? What? Did they accidentally release it? It looks like it's just like on the ground. I would say that looked like the protester dropped it, but then the ICE comes out with a bunch of them, so definitely wasn't that. It was intentional. Did you see it? What the? I can't. Okay. Didn't know there was a ranking of moderators. My bad.
This is lame as hell. Oh shit. You'll hang for this! You'll hang for your treason! You'll hang for what you're doing here! No, no.
Moderation, there we go. There we go.
Oh shit.
Hell, I'll just remove Nightbot. Tired of it. Well, except then I lose all my commands. Well, fuck. Well, I'll worry about that later. Yeah, yeah. So I'll say this, from my knowledge of American history, we need a leader like Dwight D. Eisenhower more than ever before. He is my all-time favorite president, and America would do well with a man like him today. What? How do you feel Eisenhower would help this? We need FDR. Well, Laney, I guess you can post links now.
Please, just don't. Please.
Okay, looks like we're...
A Border Patrol agent fired a less lethal launcher directly at protesters 5 times in less than 5 minutes.
Oh my god, oh my god!
And this happened just after an ICE agent killed Renee Good in Minneapolis, just a block away. It's a clear example of how federal
That's lethal
agents'
force. Oh my
aggressive crowd
god.
control measures are risking injury or death for protesters.
That's definitely
and
lack of
appearing to
training.
violate Homeland Security's own policies. Our partners at Bellingcat analyzed each of these 5 shots fired by Agent EZ-17, an agent who's part of the Specialized Border Patrol Tactical Unit, or BORTAC, and has accompanied Commander Gregory Bavino in Minnesota and elsewhere. The first shot was fired just outside the crime scene perimeter around where ICE agent
him to?
Sorry, with the federal order on Friday to not use chemical agents.
That federal order was a little ridiculous because that federal judge came down and told us we couldn't do what we already aren't doing. We
just saw video of chemical agents being used.
We only use those chemical agents when there's violence happening and perpetuating, and you need to be able to establish law and order to keep people safe. That's the only situation.
All I can do
that
is laugh at
order
them
didn't
looking
change
stupid.
anything for how we're operating on
That's
the
all I
ground
can do.
because it's basically telling
They'll
us to
shoot
do
me
what
in the
we've already been
face,
doing.
but all I can do is laugh at them
White
looking
House-
stupid.
White House has asked him to.
Sorry, with the federal order on Friday to not use chemical agents.
That federal order was a little ridiculous because that federal judge came down and told us we couldn't do what we already aren't doing. We
just saw video of chemical agents being used.
I love her not looking at the camera when she says that.
Of chemical agents being used. We only use those chemical agents when there's violence happening and perpetuating, and you need to be able to establish law.
God damn it, dude. Oh boy. Oh, right.
Jonathan Ross killed Renee Good. After pushing a man to the ground, Agent EZ-17 turns to a different protester who was not involved in physical contact, aims at their face, and
Oh
fires.
my god. Oh my god.
The cloud dispersed from the barrel is consistent with muzzle blast 40mm munitions, designed to deliver chemical irritants into an area of 30 feet from the weapon. The same cloud can be seen in the next 2 shots. After being hit with a snowball, The agent turns toward where the snowball came from and fires at the face of a man filming. After another snowball hits another agent, that agent chases the protester and maces him. EZ-17 pushes the man, then aims at his face and fires.
Jesus.
Another 2 shots are fired, first at this person banging on the side of a Border Patrol truck. Tear gas is deployed by another agent,
Tear gas.
which is still visible when EZ-17 fires the last shot towards this crowd just before the agent enters their truck and leaves. This fifth shot
this is
creates
just
multiple projectiles or sub-munitions that emit chemical
this is
irritants
political violence on a grand
consistent with
scale.
40mm rounds like the scat shell.
Never
Some of
allow
the
them to say
projectiles
that the
just
right
narrowly
isn't
miss
violent
people in
again.
the crowd. Homeland
Not that they were
Security's
ever
own
right
policy
before.
States that agents may only use weapons like 40mm launchers when no safe and
Before,
feasible
I would just
alternative
argue with them.
exists,
Now,
and
I just have
the
to
use
I
of
have to
force
laugh in their
must be
face and go, that is the most
objectively
ridiculous thing I've ever
reasonable, and
heard.
Border Patrol policy states agents cannot intentionally target the head or the neck.
Pete
In
Hegseth.
California, a person was permanently blinded last week when a DHS officer fired a pepperball gun at their face at close range in a protest.
He had a megaphone.
Agent EZ-17 has continued to accompany Greg Bovino on other raids in Minnesota in the following days. We reached out to the Department of
Well,
Homeland
why wouldn't
Security
he?
to ask about
He's
this
proven
incident
himself to be such a
involving
valuable
Agent
asset.
EZ-17, but we've received no response. Read the full investigation at bellingcat.com.
Okay. Well, court sides with ICE over its tactics against protesters? What the fuck? I hope that is overstating the conclusion of the case. Why isn't this the top window now? Oh, yeah. There we go. I was about ready to move on, then I saw this headline. Well, they already found it. They saw a guy, or they recorded a guy changing his license plates. Hey. I love Matty Holmes, too. Federal appeals court on Wednesday hit the brakes on an injunction barring immigration agents from retaliating against peaceful protesters and observers in Minnesota, not long after CBP Commander Greg Bovino was seen lobbing a smoke canister at a crowd of observers and protesters in South Minneapolis. That is not a news story. That's not a news story. What the fuck? Minnesota Star. At least give me the caption? Give me something? Federal appeals court on Wednesday temporarily paused a judge's ruling that restricted the use of force federal agents can use on peaceful protesters in Minneapolis. The 8th Circuit Court of Appeals granted an administrative stay of the preliminary injunction filed last week while the federal government pursues an appeal. On Friday, U.S. District Judge Catherine Menendez, in an 83-page order, blocked federal agents who are deployed to Minnesota as part of the Trump administration's immigration operations from using pepper spray or non-lethal munitions on peaceful protesters. The order also barred them from arresting peaceful protesters. It also barred federal law enforcement from stopping or detaining drivers and passengers when there is no reasonable articulable suspicion that people driving near protests are forcibly interfering with law enforcement operations. The ruling, now suspended, was in response to a lawsuit filed by the ACLU on behalf of 6 community members One of the suit's plaintiffs, Susan Tincher, said she went to observe ICE activity in her Minneapolis neighborhood on December 9th, and within 15 seconds of her arrival, she was on the ground in handcuffs. Okay, this is so not helpful. Fine, just give me the fucking case, man. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, it seems like it's a slow night, y'all. In early December 2025, I don't want to read this whole case. What do we got? What's it called? Hakeem Jeffries voted against funding ICE, yeah. I mean, voted against not funding ICE. Oh, he did vote against funding. Oh, okay. What, they're trying to fund ICE more? They're already better funded than any military on the face of the planet, right? It's not a big deal. They're just going to do ICE things. Okay, this is a class action on behalf of people who record, observe, and or protest against the DHS immigration operations. Five class claims: First Amendment free speech, First Amendment retaliation, Fourth Amendment unlawful seizure and excessive force, civil conspiracy, and declaration of rights. I assume that's not upholding Miranda rights. Also violating the Sixth Amendment by not allowing people to see their attorneys. I've got stuff to add to the frickin' grievances list. The next day, plaintiffs moved for a temporary restraining order. Court converted the motion for a temporary restraining order into a motion for a preliminary injunction. Happy birthday, me. The court held oral argument. Okay, I don't need the facts. I need the legal analysis. Good God, discussion. A preliminary injunction is an extraordinary remedy. Its purpose is to preserve the status quo until, upon final hearing, a court may grant full effective relief. The status quo is the last actual peaceable, uncontested status which preceded the pending controversy. The court may issue a preliminary injunction only on notice to the adverse party. The rule implies a hearing in which the defendant is given a fair opportunity to oppose the application. The district court has broad discretion in determining whether to issue a preliminary injunction. Well, it doesn't fucking sound like it. In the Eighth Circuit, a party seeking to obtain a preliminary injunction must demonstrate that the data phase factors favor injunctive relief. These factors include likelihood of success on the merits, irreparable harm to the movement without injunctive relief, check and check, balance of the equities, check, public interest, check, what the fuck, Eighth Circuit? In applying these factors, a court must flexibly weigh the case's particular circumstances to determine whether the balance of equities so favors the movement that justice requires the court to intervene to preserve the status quo until the merits are determined. The party seeking relief bears the burden of showing that a preliminary injunction is needed. While no single factor is determinative, the likelihood of success on the merits is considered the most important, quote unquote. What does which part mean? So basically, the district court issued an order requiring that ICE stop using chemical agents, that they stop using less than lethal rounds, that they stop arresting peaceful protesters. And there was another one. There was an injunction against that. And then we read off the requirements for preliminary injunction. Where'd those go? District court has broad discretion. Okay. The movement has to prove likelihood of success on the merits. That doesn't mean you have to prove that you're going to win the case. It has to prove that there is at least some arguable case to be had that like a jury could decide in your favor. Irreparable harm to the movement without injunctive relief. That means if I don't get an injunction now, I'm going to suffer harm that can't be repaired. A balance of the equities just means like this is going to restrain, like who's it going to restrain more and how much is that reasonable? And then the public interest is obviously the judge just has to make a determination on that one. And in applying these factors, a court must flexibly weigh the case's particular circumstances to determine whether the balance of equities so favors the movement that justice requires the court to intervene to preserve the status quo until the merits are determined. So they have to, because someone has moved, they have to be flexible in considering the option of an injunction, and they need to determine whether a balance of the equities favors the movement. To be like, okay, does it harm the movement's rights more to allow the whatever activities going on to keep happening, or does it restrain the other side in a more egregious way if I am to pause their behavior? And likelihood of success on the merits is generally considered the most determinative factor. Like, is this potentially a case that you could win? If it is, then we're going to put a pause on whatever's happening that you're suing for. What's going on, Das Storch? What you doing this evening? How are you feeling? Suffering the age of American terror? To meet its burden on this factor, the moving party must show a fair chance of prevailing, but it need not show that it has a greater than 50% chance likelihood of success. A showing of irreparable harm is also necessary. Irreparable harm occurs when a party has no adequate remedy at law, typically because its injuries cannot be fully compensated through an award of damages. You cannot pay me money for my loss of rights. So yeah, this is irreparable harm. Good morning. We're apparently about to freeze over in Texas. That's what my friends are texting about. We had a work email today about like working from home in the case of a freeze. Yeah, anytime Texas gets a freeze, we just don't know what the fuck we're doing. Oh no, it's ice. Texas gets ice plenty, and like we'll have like 2 weeks of ice and then everything fucking, like, everybody goes crazy. Everybody loses their goddamn mind. They don't know how to function. I mean, during COVID, we had Snowvid, and just all of Central Texas just shut down. The court has carefully considered how to weigh the various components of the record before it. Not carefully enough, I doubt. And in doing so, the court is mindful that the federal rules of evidence do not apply with full force in this context. At the same time, evidence that does not meet admissibility standards may be given less weight. Applying those principles here, I guess this is important. The admissibility of hearsay under the federal rules of evidence goes to weight, not preclusion, at the preliminary injunction stage. I wasn't sure how much they were going to rely on this, but it seems to be the crux of their argument, so we can go back and look at it. Okay, the court has carefully considered how to weigh various components. The court is mindful that the federal rules of evidence do not apply with full force in this context. So they're saying for a preliminary injunction, they aren't applying normal, like, evidence rules when we're talking about, like, deciding a case. The two sides haven't gone through discovery yet, so it's unlikely that either side has a substantial amount of evidence, or at least not the amount that they would like to have to go to trial. So there are different rules that apply. The rules of evidence do not apply strictly to preliminary injunction proceedings given their urgency and the limited factual development at the stage. Right. No discovery yet. Evidence that otherwise may be excluded, including evidence based on multiple levels of hearsay and not based solely on personal knowledge, because the preliminary injunction procedure, considering evidence that otherwise may be excluded, because the preliminary injunction procedure is less formal and evidence may be less complete than at trial. At the same time, evidence that does not meet admissibility standards may be given less weight. Okay, so we'll take a bunch of hearsay evidence that we would not normally allow at trial. We will accept it in our considerations for an injunction, but we will not give it we will not give it as much weight as evidence that would normally be allowed at trial. No, the crazy thing is that the appellate court reversed the injunction, and then immediately Greg Bovino's out there gassing protesters. Applying those principles here, the court finds that like it's gleeful. It's like, hee, the appeals court sided with us. Hee, get gassed in the face. You gotta do a photo op of me throwing tear gas. Applying those principles here, the court finds the plaintiff's declarations are entitled to substantial weight. Each named plaintiff has submitted at least one declaration based largely on their personal experiences and knowledge. Each of these declarations was sworn under penalty of perjury. Plaintiffs' descriptions of their own conduct, the conduct of federal immigration officers, and the circumstances in which the relevant conduct occurred provide essential context for evaluating plaintiffs' claims, and the court credits their accounts. By contrast, defendants did not provide sworn declarations from immigration officers. Oh my God. I'm reading the original, aren't I? Fuck me for skipping over the caption. Goddamn. I was like, this doesn't seem to be going the way that I was expecting it to go. I'm confused. I was reading the district court opinion, not the appellate court opinion. I skipped over the caption because I thought I had the right case. Can somebody give me the actual order? No, I don't want you to. Well, fine.
An appeals
Let's
court
see if
that sides with the federal government amid its ongoing immigration crackdown in Minnesota.
This is a reversal of a temporary ban preventing ICE from retaliating against protesters and observers. Our So Young Kim joining us now with the latest on the decision on this pending case. And So Young, this stems from a lawsuit that the ACLU had filed against DHS at the end of last year.
Kim, you can be afraid of those two other
Friday, a
people.
district
You're
court
allowed to be
judge
afraid
had
of
ruled
them.
federal officers cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters. Now an appellate court has lifted that restriction for now. This video circulated by the Associated
They
Press
are
shows
white
a chaotic
newscasters on
scene between
Fox. You can
federal
be afraid
agents
of them.
and a crowd in Minneapolis Wednesday afternoon. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin sent Fox 9 this statement regarding the incident that reads, quote, "Today, Border Patrol agents who were in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area as part of a targeted enforcement operation were repeatedly harassed and blocked by hostile crowds while simply trying to take bathroom breaks. At each gas station where the agents stopped to use the restroom, groups of agitators appeared, yelled at them, stalked them, and even tried to prevent law enforcement vehicles from leaving, creating unsafe conditions. At
So we
one
used
stop,
chemical
individuals in the crowd
agitants on
threw
them.
food at the agents. At their final gas station stop, someone spit on an agent. When an
Oh,
agent moved to
no.
detain the person who spit on him, the crowd tackled and attacked the agents while surrounding them. To safely clear the area, agents had to
Oh,
use crowd control
no.
measures to disperse the hostile crowd. This latest clash comes just hours after an appeals court
Oh,
ruled in
you found
favor
it.
of federal
You found
immigration
it.
officers.
I
The
want it.
decision stems from a December lawsuit
Thank you. That was very
ACLU of
helpful.
Minnesota filed on behalf of 6 protesters against federal officials. Then on Friday, a U.S. District Court judge
Do
agreed
not have
and
the
issued a
appellate
temporary
court
injunction
case.
prohibiting federal officers from detaining.
Stop it. All right, you know what, Fox News? I'm going to give you
We've
another
got an
chance
appeals court.
Yelled
with
at
the
them.
ridiculous scrolling case.
Ruled in favor.
There we go. Number 261105 of the 8th Circuit. Okay. I can't believe I had to do this. 8th Circuit. What was it? 1105. They did just do a Star Wars crawl. That is like here it is.
Hours after
Here's
an
the
appeals
order.
court ruled in
If you
favor
wanted it.
of federal immigration officers.
Oh my God! It really is that short. Yo, what? Oh, fuck off. That's not it. Well, thanks, 8th Circuit. That's very helpful. Let's put it in quotes, I guess. All right, have a good one, Das Storch. Can I just see the fucking order? Thank you. The motion for an administrative stay of the preliminary injunction issued by the district court pending the court's consideration of the government's motion for a stay pending appeal is granted. Wow. I will size this up so you can see the embarrassment that this is. No wonder they did the fucking zoom in Star Wars crawl. There was nothing to show. There's the entire order. the motion for administrative stay of the preliminary injunction issued by the district court pending the court's consideration of the government's motion for a stay pending appeal is granted. I am despondent. This is an embarrassment. They are staying the injunction order. So this is saying, you are welcome to continue gassing protesters. You are welcome to continue using less than lethal rounds on protesters. You are welcome to continue arresting peaceful protesters. Yep. And that's the whole explanation we get. Well, this person didn't want to show me who the judge was. Somebody had to sign it. Come on, Mueller, she wrote. Secretive DHS memo authorizes ICE to illegally enter homes without a judicial warrant in violation of the Fourth Amendment. God. Yeah, the people who did vote for it sure are happy it's happening, I guess. Because the right can't differentiate between not being liked and oppression through force, this is where we stand. The left made them feel inadequate. The left made them feel stupid. The left made them feel bad. And so they use state force against the left. They fundamentally misunderstand how that works. No, that is their view of what happened. And to be fair, I don't like them. But they see that as oppression. They see people not liking them as oppression. So they go out and use state force on people who disagree with them. Yeah, it's so insecure. Court order was 26/11/05. Oh, shoot. What is this? A declaration from a WAPO journalist. I am 18 years of age. I'm currently a reporter at the Washington Post. I won a George Foster Peabody Award in 2024. Damn. At 16? What the fuck? Overachiever. My additional honors. Jesus. Overbearing parents much? I mean, it could be the result of overbearing parents or supportive parents. I am very happy to see that I buy my daughter a tablet for animation. I buy her software for animation, and then I encourage her to animate, and I show appreciation for the things she animates, and she is just like skyrocketing in terms of artistic talent. I could never do it. This is a slight aside. What's up? All the mainstream news requiring logins and money, it's cutting people out of actual valid news. That's true. News has always cost money, though. Otherwise, people were just getting people yelling headlines. This is why we need a BBC-style system. Ooh. Even sites that were free years ago. Yeah, because nobody's reading. They gotta pay for themselves somehow. I don't know why the BBC is charging Americans. It seems like y'all have the infrastructure. On December 24th, 2025, the Post published a story about my own reporting over the past year. The story noted that my efforts to show how President Trump has transformed government had brought me 1,169 new sources. These sources included federal employees from more than 120 government agencies and sub-agencies. Damn, Hannah Nathanson. Damn. During the past year, relying heavily on these sources, I authored or co-authored more than 200 articles across roughly 20 news desks. The materials seized from me also this is an unusually high publication volume and variety, which speaks to the breadth of the sources I worked with and covered. The materials seized from me also include information about my colleagues' sources. I shared a byline with approximately 130 reporters during the past year alone. Most of these sources ultimately communicated with me through Signal, a messaging app that I took steps to protect the identity of those sources. Oh my god. FBI agents showed up at my house to execute a search warrant. The agents provided me a copy of the search warrant and forbade me from moving freely throughout my residence. I understood from my interactions with the FBI agents that the relevant investigation was of Aurelio Luis Perez Lugones. FBI agents ultimately seized the following materials: a MacBook Pro that is owned by the Post and that I used for work, a second silver MacBook Pro that I personally owned but also previously used for work, an iPhone that the Post owns that I used for work, a 1 terabyte portable hard drive, a Garmin running watch that I personally own, and a voice recorder that is owned by the Post that I used for work. I used my Post computer for work. In particular, I sent received emails and documents using Microsoft Outlook, Slack, and Signal, and also communicated through text messages and phone calls. I have reviewed a Post IT department report that shows I sent and received more than 30,000 emails over the last year alone. My Post computer kept local copies of emails in Outlook. When my Post computer was seized, I believe that I was logged into Proton Drive, which is a cloud-based service that I use to save sensitive information in an encrypted form, including confidential information derived from sources and notes on story concepts and ideas. When my Post computer was seized, I believed that I was also logged into Google Drive. That is another cloud-based service that I use to save information, including confidential information derived from sources and notes on story concepts and ideas. In addition, my colleagues use this platform to share information for reporting with me. Is your computer not password protected? I also use my computer to draft and edit potential stories. I also use Slack on my computer. Slack is a messaging system that permits users to create various channels, which are text conversations between different groups of users. Post reporters and editors use these channels to communicate about sources and stories. For example, I am a participant in numerous specific Slack channels and direct message communications regarding reporters sharing confidential information about sources and stories, editors sharing confidential information about sources and stories, ongoing lines of coverage. Slack is how the Post newsroom often shares information from sources, originates and debates story ideas, and discusses edits to draft stories. I also use Ellipsis on my computer. Ellipsis is the Post's content management system. It provides an enormous window into the Post's journalism, with all stories in progress. Thus, having access to Ellipsis is like having access to the Post newsroom. I similarly used my iPhone for work. My iPhone included Signal, Slack, and email apps. My iPhone included the Outlook app, which stored emails from my Post email account, my personal Gmail account, and a Gmail account that I use for news alerts. My personal Gmail account contains personal information, including medical information, financial information, even information about my wedding planning. You're 18, darling. You're 18. Ugh. It's not on them. This is egregious. How many sources did she say? 1,200 sources? I mean, yeah, But the Trump administration just got their hands on 1,200 previously anonymous sources from inside, many of which were from inside the government. Oh, Jesus, this has all been all fucked up this whole time. Moreover, I would sometimes communicate with Post lawyers when I needed legal advice about sourcing or a story. That said, it was more common for my editors to consult legal counsel and receive advice in connection with my reporting, which would then be reflected in communications from the editor to me. This advice could be conveyed through all channels of communication with my editors, including but not limited to email, Signal, Slack, and text messages. The voice recorder seized by the government houses recordings of interviews going back years. Many of these recorded conversations include information provided confidentially by sources. Paragraph 40, I need my devices back to do my job. I no longer have access to my more than 1,200 Signal contacts. Holy shit. Man, she just got she just nearly got 1,200 new contacts. Holy crap. Living under literal fascism. This episode has my favorite sign-off so far.
Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday.
What's the sign-off?
I guess.
That has to be a euphemism for masturbation.
How is the bean so polished? Okay, bye.
What?
Do that whole camera's out. Camera's up, whistles out.
Oh, yeah, camera's on.
Just from the time she was 16, she was doing a podcast on school shootings, and she got a Pulitzer for it, if I'm not mistaken. And then she started working for WAPO, and then fucking skyrocketed.
Whistles out. Do not
Don't obey in advance.
in advance.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Say your name. Say your name.
I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg, and this is Beanstalk. We're never gonna give you what you need, everybody. We're never gonna give you the ending you need.
How is the bean so polished? Probably because we've done it for 5 years, I guess.
That has to be a euphemism
do
for
not comply in advance.
masturbation.
How is the bean so polished? Okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't think the taco's going to last long either. He's been too aggressive about it. We are going to invade Greenland.
Clinton, 2 presidents, because we know we all want to hear from President Clinton. If for some reason you said we will give you, say, Pam Bondi, and then we've got President Clinton with it, or say maybe President Trump and President Clinton, 2 presidents, because we know that both presidents actually had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. But what looks political and looks like one can get away with everything, that's why it looks like it's just gamesmanship. You only care about following the rules so long as you can invoke those rules on what is typically perceived as your political enemies. You only love law enforcement when they're going after black, brown, immigrants, that kind of folk, right? But on January 6th, you didn't care about law enforcement because they still don't have their plaques up. We continue to do the right thing and say, yes, apply the rules equally across the board, and then y'all play in our faces and you only apply it to one side. We all want to.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. All right, I think I'm about to wind it down, Maddie. I appreciate you being along for the ride. We'll get that higher traffic soon. I'm going to finish scrolling this and then... Oh, immigration operations started in Maine. Targeting immigrants from Somalia. Why? I don't know, because a small group of people did some shit in Minnesota? What the fuck? Whatever happened to racism being bad? Oh, yeah, let's... Specifically in the May 12th... Oh, let's size that up. The whole duck thing. I'm not... Oh, am I familiar with the duck thing? By memorandum dated May 12th, 2025, Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons authorizes ICE agents to forcibly enter into certain people's homes without a judicial warrant, consent, or an emergency. Specifically, in the May 12th memo, the Acting ICE Director authorized ICE agents to rely on Form I-205, which is not a judicial warrant, to enter into the residence of an alien subject to a final order of deportation without consent, including by a necessary and reasonable amount of force. While addressed to all ICE personnel, in practice, the May 12th memo has not been formally distributed to all personnel. Instead, the May 12th memo has been provided to select DHS officials who are then directed to verbally brief the new policy for action. Those supervisors then show the memo to some employees, like our clients, and direct them to read the memo and return it to the supervisor. What the fuck? Form I-205, which DHS has called a warrant of removal or deportation, is drafted and signed by an ICE official. Based upon the final administrative order of deportation typically issued by an immigration judge, the purpose of the Form I-205 is to authorize ICE agents to detain and remove these individuals. These arrests have always been limited to public places because the Form I-205 has not been considered a warrant issued by a neutral and detached magistrate. Only a warrant issued by a neutral and detached magistrate would authorize ICE agents to enter or search non-public areas such as an alien's residence. Oh, you mean you can't violate somebody's Fourth Amendment rights just because you want to? I don't remember hearing anything about eating ducks. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I do think I remember that story. I think I got it mixed up with the Haitian story. Wasn't the eating ducks thing, like... Wasn't that, like, not even a real thing? Right. Because of course it was. Because people are so excited to have the opportunity to have their internalized racism validated so that they can feel justified in externalizing their racism. What's going on, evil alien robot? We're in the end times now. Welcome to it. Earlier this year, the Congressional Research Service reviewed and analyzed ICE's legal authorities. Notably, CRS found that ICE warrants do not confer the same authority as judicial warrants. Oh, yeah, amazing. Under the Fourth Amendment and decades of legal precedent, law enforcement ordinarily requires a judicial warrant to enter a residence. What a surprise! I can't believe the executive branch didn't realize this. Oh, I'm glad you exist, evil alien robot. I'm proud of you. DHS Form I-205 is a warrant of removal/deportation that allows for the arrest and deportation of individuals found to have been issued a final order of removal. Despite bearing the name warrant, Form I-205 is an administrative document signed by DHS officials. Wow, so DHS gets DHS's approval to nab a person in public. And now DHS is getting DHS's permission to invade people's homes. Amazing. If only King George had done that. King George, are you cool with having the redcoats invade people's homes in America? Yeah, I'm good with that. Good job, me. You make me mad. You found my brother. My brother? My actual brother? Who I've had 2 real conversations with in my life, and in both he called himself my distant uncle. More like my distant uncle. Nightbot, you were removed. Fuck you, Nightbot.
If we could acquire Mexico and have Mexico as part of the United States, and Canada as part of the United States, and Greenland as part of the United States, all of a sudden, we're #1 again. We have places to flee to. We could run into the woods of Canada. If we could acquire Mexico and have Mexico...
Are you saying this guy looks like me? Does this guy look like me? Is it being white with blue eyes?
Mexico as part of the United States, and Canada as part of the United States, and Greenland as part of the United States, all of a sudden, we're #1 again. We have places to flee to. We could run into the woods of...
What? What? I don't know what this guy is saying. This guy is you if you made like 10 different major choices. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems a little unhinged. ICE leadership issued the May 12th memorandum to implement Executive Order 14159, protecting the American people against invasion. I don't know why they don't just end these with like, because God King Trump is so beneficent to the people. That executive order directs the Department of Homeland Security to ensure the successful enforcement of final orders of removal. Evil Alien Robot, we just covered a 18-year-old WAPO reporter having her home invaded by the FBI to grab her work computers and phone, and they now have access to 1,200 plus contacts of hers, many of whom are confidential government informants sources. Yeah. It's bad times. Her name is Hannah Nathanson. The memorandum describes the process by which ICE agents may rely on an I-205 to conduct an arrest in an alien's place of residence. It states, although the U.S. DHS has not historically relied on administrative warrants alone to arrest aliens subject to final orders of removal in their place of residence. Oh, no shit! Oh, no shit! Go figure! I wonder why DHS has not historically relied on administrative warrants. The DHS Office of General Counsel has recently determined that the Constitution, Jesus Christ, the Constitution, the Immigration and Nationality Act, and the Immigration Regulations do not prohibit relying on administrative warrants for this purpose. Accordingly, in light of this legal determination, ICE immigration officers may arrest and detain aliens subject to a final order of removal issued by an immigration judge, the Board of Immigration Appeals, or a U.S. District Court judge or magistrate judge in their place of residence. ICE immigration officers should consider all available enforcement mechanisms, including the use of the Form I-205, to arrest an alien in their place of residence to achieve the requirements of Executive Order 14159 in accordance with applicable law and policies. You wish lawyers did what in court? Like what I just did? Oh, no shit! I wonder why! Court sure would be different without decorum. Personally, I'm glad that judges get to decide what the law is in their court. Should the alien refuse admittance, ICE officers and agents should use only a necessary and reasonable amount of force to enter the alien's residence. Oh, so none? None force? Let's look at the Fourth Amendment real quick. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. I can't, like... there. I'll just... Here. We'll zoom it in. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. And note that the subject of that is not citizens, it is people. The people. If they meant citizens, it could easily say citizens is the legal standard. We run courts with lots of judges. It's usually just the trial level where there's just one judge. All appellate courts have more than one judge. Appellate courts will tend to have a single judge do an opinion, but then a party can move to be heard en banc, which is to have more judges hear their case. In the unemployment system in Florida, the majority of job fairs that exist are for ICE recruitments. Oh, Jesus. Despite the May 12th memo being addressed to all ICE personnel, in practice the to wit, one of our clients was allowed to view the memorandum only in the presence of their supervisor. They were handed the memorandum, allowed a few minutes to review it without the ability to take notes, and were directed to hand it back. I wonder why. I wonder why this is the case. I wonder why random ICE agents are not being given a copy of this memo. They were also informed that another employee had been reassigned for contradicting a supervisor about a different ICE policy. Wow. Question your supervisor once, you're gone. Our client understood their supervisor shared this piece of information as a warning that expressing disagreement with the new arrest policy could result in adverse career consequences. Together, our clients are aware of multiple DHS employees who faced retaliation for expressing their concerns and/or disagreement with the May 12th memo's policy change, likely constituting prohibited personnel practices. One client is aware of a seasoned government instructor tasked with teaching this new doctrine who chose to resign rather than be forced to teach what they understood to be unlawful. But this is from May? I didn't even catch that part. Jesus Christ. They've been operating under this for 7 months? On bonk. Go to horny jail. Don't call me weird. Are you confident in the ability of organizer labor unions to do anything for people's rights, or do you think it's kind of hopeless? At this point, I am not worried about labor unions. Oh, thank you, Elaney. At this point, that's not what I'm concerned with. Where was I in this memo? Here we go. Together, our clients are aware of multiple DHS employees who faced retaliation for expressing their concerns. Based on information and belief, ICE began formalizing this policy change as early as March 2025. Before the memo, the internal disagreement about the policy and the furtive manner of its rollout are indicators that agency leadership is aware that this new policy runs afoul of settled legal precedent and constitutional principles. Furthermore, one of our clients understands that ICE agents operating in the Fifth Circuit, including Texas, have started to rely on Form I-205 to arrest aliens in their residences without a proper judicial warrant. Our client understands that these targeted arrest operations were carried out in court districts that are sympathetic to the administration's campaign to deport illegal immigrants should a targeted person litigate their unlawful arrest. How are people going to organize? Do you mean organize in the sense of organized labor? Because right now we need, like, civil organization, not labor organization. I can't believe that this stupid Deltarune video is my best chance at reaching a broader audience. I don't see labor unions as the means by which we can do that at all. Right now with the stupid like Deltarune video, like I'm having to balance, like, I have multiple things that could be big enough to get a sizable audience for that video. I have enough theory stuff with enough evidence that it would generate a lot of content. But, like, I have to balance, do I do that now and get a big audience, or do I piece more of it together and get a huge, like, much bigger audience? Because I'm basically on the verge of making the end-all be-all Deltarune video, as far as I can tell. It would involve mass organization, for sure. What do I think the means is of doing it? I've got no fucking idea, man. You know people. Best thing I can say is pick a time that you can reasonably be at a public place, and then let people know that you're going to be in that public place organizing, and like, but I mean like a consistent time in a consistent public place. so that people can just go there spur of the moment if they feel like they have the availability to do it. And then ask those people to ask more people that they know to join you in that sense of organizing. And then just keep doing it and don't stop. That is the best thing I can figure. The horseradish patch? Okay. Main thing I need to do is get access to all my accounts on my phone. I still haven't done that on my phone. And then I can just be more active on my phone when I'm away from my computer. Elaney, I'll browse whatever groups you want to send me. Okay, let me finish scrolling through. Wait, I haven't even gone through this fucking memo yet. ICE Fugitive Operations Handbook. No, I don't need all of this. Doing so, these sources further illuminate why ICE rules had always prevented it. For example, when an ICE agent enters a home without consent, armed only with an administrative warrant, it is a constitutional violation that goes to the heart of the Fourth Amendment. Yeah, no shit. DHS's new policy to permit arrests in an alien's residence without a judicial warrant or consent is a complete break from the law and undercuts the Fourth Amendment and the rights it protects. As far as our clients understand, DHS has failed to articulate any change in the law to allow for policy. Well, I mean, it would require an amendment. Oh my god. Holy shit, Bovino's fucking tiny. I didn't realize he was that fucking small. No wonder he's a fascist. I don't really like panels, but it seems like a quick way to get views. Yeah, that's a good point. Elaney, I would appreciate these more in the Discord or directly as a DM. Saw that. And that memo is like 8 months old now. Sophia Bernie, hey, what's going on? Well, I would give you the Nightbot, but I banned Nightbot earlier. Let me give you the Discord invite. Oh, it's changed anyway. It constantly changes. I need to fucking get Discord boost. Sophia Bernie, what's going on? Welcome to the Age of Terror in America. JD is going to be in Minnesota tomorrow, and then Friday is supposed to be a big protest. Yeah, Friday is the general strike, which is like unheard of. Kofefe 1234 in YouTube chat. I hate to break it to you, but you didn't spell Kofefe right. Not that Kofefe can be spelled right, but that's not how it was spelled. Despite the terrible press, Kofefe, or despite the negative press, Kofefe. And trying to emote the word busts as your first comment probably isn't a great start. Watch the full 60-minute CCOT segment here. I mean, we're past CCOT at this point. 60 minutes. That's we're dealing with issues at home. Am I okay with joining him for a debate? Is he a righty? I generally hate to debate on, like, not on my own turf, because most people have issues with researching things, and I prefer to research things, but he's left-leaning but weird. Like, what would I debate him on? Well, I'm going to do one more. You can steelman any argument? Steelman any argument? Man, that's how I lost one of my best friends, is because I couldn't steelman the fake electors plot. If he could steelman that. Can't believe I lost a friend over that. That's insane. Who are you talking? Elaine's talking about Radish. I'm talking about a personal friend of mine. Seems like Sophia Burney vanished. Well, I'm gonna check and see if there's anything new in Minnesota, and then I'm gonna sign off for the night. Are ICE agents in Minneapolis breaking the law? Yes. Plain and simple, yes. It looks like it's a Spotify episode. There's a reason we're rallying around our state bird. The common loon is metal. What? Eagle stabbed through the heart and a loon's to blame. Stabbed through the heart and a loon's to blame. The state of affairs right now. From Ground News. This is just an ad. It's just an ad for Ground News. The JD event appears it may be hosted at the Royalston Square Event Center. ICE detainees have already filed more habeas petitions than in all of 2025. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Things are so fucked. Things are so fucked. Habeas petitions should be unheard of. That's insane. For the unfamiliar, a habeas petition is a formal request for a writ of habeas corpus, a court order demanding that a public official bring a detained person before a court to legally justify their imprisonment. That should be unheard of. People should not know what a habeas petition is, except that they should know their own rights. So I would recommend they know what a habeas petition is. But you shouldn't hear about habeas petitions in the news. Watch out for Let's Chief. What? I don't understand. Man, even the troll didn't stick around. Watch out for him? What's that mean? Be concerned with Let's Chief? I don't know who that is. House Republicans vote to lift 20-year ban on mining near pristine Boundary Waters canoe area. Like, let's just get rid of nature. Thank you, Republicans.
As of today, 4 of our students, our children,
No. Okay. Oh. All right, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you for being here. What? How would you have upset me today? What? I feel like you're pulling a prank on me. How would you have upset me today? What? Now you're freaking me out. Eleni, trolls don't upset me. I don't know how you would upset me. Anyway, I'm Know Nothing attorney. I know nothing, so you can too. Because it's only in embracing that we know nothing that we can actually learn anything. And that's what we're here to do every day that we're on. Which is most days. And as always, I'm proud of you. I don't need to know you personally for that to be real. It's true, and you deserve to hear it. If only at a minimum because life is hard. It's always been hard, and it always will be hard. But the way you face each and every single day, the way you do, is remarkable. So stay remarkable, and I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.